Okay, Kim, Cindy, this is just a quick video to show you the things that I suggest you check, if not every day, at least 2 to 3 times a week. I just have these remote desktop on my computer. I just double click them and I start them up. So this is the actual physical server, and the physical server is called Hyper-V. On the physical server, you have something that's called Dell Open Manage, and this will tell you if there's any problems with the hardware. You can see everything here is green and checked off. If this has an X next to it, when you first log into it, then you'll need to do some more research to figure out what's wrong with it. And to figure out what's wrong with it, just click the plus sign and then just click on all these different items to find what has the red X next to it, to figure out what is it, memory, is it a network card, is it a processor, what is going on. This is just the hardware component of it, because this is a physical server, so this is where you'll check for the hardware. Then Hyper-V is actually the thing that manages the virtual machine, and that's where Yari is running. And you just want to check this to make sure that it's running and that it's not having any problems. And if you go over towards the end of it, you'll see that this one's been running for 2 days, 8 hours and 25 minutes without any problems. And of course, the other main thing is the backups, just to make sure that the backups are running properly. And you can see now that it's run all week successfully with no errors. If you want to view the details from the last backup, you just go over here and you look at the details, and you can see that it's completed successfully and everything's fine. And obviously this starts showing errors, then you want to figure out why. And then this is a little more difficult to explain, because as you can see, in the last hour there was 1 error, and in the last 24 hours there was 5. And it's difficult to say which things are things that you really have to worry about and which ones are not. The main thing is just to get an idea of the frequency of errors, and that when those frequency and the number of errors go up, that's when you want to let me know. So right now this is very low. If you come in here and you see that the errors are in the single digits, then you really don't have to worry. But if it starts getting over 15, 16 errors, then you want to click on this X and see if it's a large amount for just one of these items. If it's just 1 or 2 for 10 or 12 different items, then it's not that big of a deal. But once again, it's tough to give you a hard and fast rule, because it takes some intuition and some knowledge. So those are the things that you should check on the physical server. Now if we go over to the virtual server where Yardi is running, these are some of the things that you want to check. You want to check to make sure that when you log into Trend Micro, that all of these are green, and if any of them are red, you want to click on them and find out why they're not red. So that's the virus software. Then you want to check to make sure that the backups are running, and all of these are log files that tell you whether the backups are running. You just double click them, you open them up, and the best thing to do is just to go all the way down to the bottom of the log file and just look to see if any failed. If any failed, then you want to investigate which ones failed and or let me know. And you want to do that with both of, well, there's 3 of those files. You want to come down here and see how many did any of them fail, and if they did fail, then you need to let me know. Then this is just the one that makes a backup of the Yardi backup onto the external drive, and you can see over here that it copied, and you want to figure out, and you just want to make sure that they all copied, and if they all copied, then everything's fine. Now these backups that you see here are on the external drive, and the external drive is making the copies of this data directory, this users directory, and this Yardi backups. And the Yardi backups are the most important. These are the ones you want to make sure that when you look at the Yardi backups, and the Yardi backups are in C data Yardi share backups, you want to make sure that you have the most recent. This is from last night, and you see the backup ran last night, at 8 o'clock, and there's Thursdays, there's Wednesdays, Tuesdays, Mondays, Sunday, and so on and so forth. And then this is the scheduler that runs the backups that we've just talked to. You just want to make sure that they're running and running without error. This is the one that's copying the user data, and then this is the one that's doing the Yardi backup. And you just want to make sure that they all completed. And then just as on the physical server, you want to look in the event logs for the virtual server. And once again, you can see these are low. 0 in the last hour and only 1 in the last 24. And you just want to click on them and look and get yourself familiar with those, so that when you come in and you see a change in the pattern, that's the big key, a change in the pattern. And the only way you're going to recognize a change in the pattern is to familiarize yourself with what is normal. And then once you see that there's something that's changed, that's when you want to get concerned. So that's the virtual machine and the physical machine. And once again, I'd just like to say I still suggest you need to convert the virtual machine into physical, but that's a subject for a different day. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.